So I feel incredibly stupid that I went for a week and a half thinking that I'd lost my mental health case manager, my free mental health case manager, paid for by the wonderful taxpayers, and it leads me to think, why did I think that I was losing her? Well, for one, for years and years and years, I've had her 14 years, by the way, so that's a really long time. Who gets like free services for 14 years? First of all, if you say you need help, and people are always like, okay, if you need help, if you have a mental health issue, if you feel depressed, if you're suicidal, like, you go to talk to someone, you know, like, get help. Well, you know how hard it is to get help in Canada? I'm in Ontario. I'm in Ottawa, Ontario. And it's just really help. It's really, like, I had a friend who was like suicidal, and she's never asked for anything in her whole life. She goes to the ER and she's like, I'm really scared, you know, I'm getting these thoughts and blah 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 blah. Well, they send her home because, you know what, there's no beds in the hospital, in the loony bin. And I know of another friend who does want mental health care, and so she gets a therapist for 6 months, and then they bump her off, and then she gets another therapist after she goes on a waiting list for about 6 months or a year or something, and then gets another one for 6 months and gets bumped off. It's horrible. Like, if you watch these people who are like struggling, I mean, it's like a lot of people, like myself included, and people that I know that I'm talking about, we come from families where it's not really super stable, where our parents weren't super stable, where we felt like we wanted someone who, you know, had, you know, it all together, who could like maybe support us, who was mature, who didn't also have a mental illness. And maybe we get that from, you know, therapists or people that we talk to. And when they keep on saying, you know, we can't help you, you can't afford it, or whatever, they don't really say that. It's really demeaning. And it's like, you know, unfortunately, where is the help? Well, I know that it's really, really great that we have like social media and 12-step programs and this and that, but like I try to get sponsors from 12-step programs like about 5 different times in my life, and they all dissolved, and I never worked the steps, and I've been in the programs in and out of different 12-step programs for years. So right now I'm using my therapist, and I have money to pay for my therapist, so I've had her for 7 years, and, you know, I'm one of the rare people that can actually afford to pay for therapy because they're $150. So there are sliding scales, but the sliding scale people, I think, are the ones also that bump you off, some of them. And I just feel sad. Another thing which is unrelated is that I know when I was growing up, a lot of reason why I didn't want to talk was because when I was a kid, I knew that everything that I said would probably go back to my mom, and I'd get in trouble because, you know, my mom was, you know, mentally ill, and part of my stress was the negative ways we were dealing with each other at home, and you know, and so when you're a kid, if you have a nasty home life, of course you want to talk to someone, but the fact that it's not private, of course a kid's gonna know they don't want to be taken away from their parent just because things are bad. I personally just wanted things to change and to feel more comfortable. So it's just a lot of things frustrating me. But anyway, keep reaching out. The distress line, I actually called last week, and I had a good experience. I hate calling the distress line because they kind of CBT you, and it's like, I just want someone to vent with and then feel better after. So the first thing I said when I called them was, I hate calling this number. And that actually was a really good icebreaker. Anyway, do what you can. Do what you can do what you can to get through this sometimes really stupid world, and try and focus on the positives, because they're out there too.